Hello, everybody. Welcome to another insightful episode of our YouTube channel on speechtherapypd.com. I'm your host, Stephanie Michele Sweigart, and I am a licensed and practicing school-based SLP in Los Angeles, California. And my pronouns are she, her. I'm here today with speechtherapypd.com. Welcome, everybody who is joining us today. We have a very special guest for you that is here with us that you can see on screen, who is an expert in the field of speech therapy and a trailblazer in promoting cultural competence within our profession. Sonya Floyd, an SLP out of Georgia, is here with us today to share little golden nuggets with all of you. So welcome, Sonya. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us today. I know you are super, super busy. We are grateful to have you.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. I really do appreciate it. And welcome to everyone.
Thanks, Sonya. Tell us a little bit about yourself, what you're currently involved in, or any projects, or where you're practicing.
Okay, so I am the past president of the Georgia Speech Language Hearing Association, or GASHA. I currently just accepted a role as communications chair that I will fill for a year. Full-time, I own my own mobile feeds business. So I travel throughout the state of Georgia providing dysphagia evaluations to patients in need, primarily in skilled nursing facilities. I also do a little bit of private practice, diagnostics only. And then I currently hold a position where I'm clinical coordinator for another company. So I'm kind of doing a little bit of everything. I'm just trying to branch out and see, where I can best use myself at this time.
Oh my goodness, that is amazing. You are involved in, you are wearing many hats and you're involved in so many things. And we kind of talked about this right before we got started. You're also wearing the mom hat and you have a daughter who's starting kindergarten. So you are probably just in so many different directions doing so many things.
I am. So that's one of the things that led to me becoming self-employed so that I could really be able to manipulate my schedule and make it work for her because, they don't stay little very long. I feel like she was just born and now she's 5 and off to school. So it's important that I be able to spend that time with her during these golden years.
Absolutely. Did you get that little picture, the little front door picture or the little backpack picture of my first day? Those are the best. My daughter's 7, so I know those pictures very well. Well, yes. Awesome. Thank you so much. So many hats we know you're wearing. You're involved in so many different things and being a blessing to so many and just sharing your wisdom and your education. And we know that one of the hats that you also wear is that you developed a course on speechtherapypd.com called Cultural Competency in Leadership. And I love that. And I'm so excited to dig into that for just a little bit for those who have joined the show and are interested in this topic. So for everybody who wants to kind of note down some invaluable knowledge as Sonya inspires us and equips us with some simple strategies to create inclusive and impactful practices for our profession, we want to present you, Sonya, with this golden question that we have for you. And that is, what are 3 strategies that SLPs or SLPAs can use for engaging in expansion of cultural competence within our profession as it pertains to leadership activities?
So when it comes to leadership activities and expanding cultural competency, I think that one of the key things that we can do is develop leadership training, where we are incorporating that cultural competency piece, working with your state associations, your national association, and getting involved, and then getting a good foundation so that we know how to be effective leaders and that we demonstrate cultural competency within our practice every day and in our interactions with people, because it's not just with the patients that we deal with, but the colleagues, the interdisciplinary relationships that we're also developing. It's very important that we understand and be mindful of the differences that we all have and how we can be most effective in those ways. Another way is that we can also work on early professionals and students. So wanting to tap into, getting people right as they're starting their training and getting ready to come out into the workforce, getting those people that just entered into the workforce and are learning about our field and trying to navigate outside of the classroom, because it is a different beast when you're in classroom and you're in training versus when you're out in our field, and you're going to be hit with many factors at once, and being able to manage that and be able to be competent in those areas is important to maintaining the cultural competency that we need, and it's the most effective way. Having good people that are going to be our not only our peers, but those that mentor us, having good mentorship, being able to seek out mentorship. Those are certain things that are, really crucial to this piece. I just think that it's one of the things that we kind of, as a field, have not been really good about. And it's someplace that we definitely need to improve if we're wanting to really address the gamut of the people that we're serving.
Yes.
And
And
then,
if I could ask you something on that. So if there is a new clinician that is listening or watching this episode and they're like, I want to seek out a mentor in that area, where would they start? How would they go about doing?
go to your state association website. Look
Okay.
on that state association website and find someone that is actually in the area that you want to practice and reach out to them. Most of them have their contact information located right there on that website. It's going to be their email address. I know for GASHA on our website, we have dedicated a lot of time to the development of it. And there are different videos for different practice acts that you can go through. And we have experts that were within our state at the time, most of which are still here, some who may not reside in the state anymore, but they can still be a source of a resource for someone. And you can reach out to them and ask them, hey, I'm new into this field. This is an area that I'm really interested in. Would you be willing to take me under your wing and help me grow as a clinician so that I can best serve the people that I really desire to? How can you help me to attain the goals that I aspire to? So that's
I love that right there. Everybody who's listening, go back and rewind, and there is your template for your email. I love that you just kind of gave us a framework of the words that we can use to reach out and ask. That is beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, I think that's really crucial. And then the last piece I think that would really be most beneficial is when you're dealing with state associations or any organization, I think we don't do a good job of the transition documents. How are we documenting what we're doing and how we can lay a good foundation so that whoever comes behind us knows how to continue to grow and develop that piece. It's no different than if we're documenting something on a patient and another clinician is going to come behind you. You want to have a good, solid documentation present so that they know what you were doing in therapy, how to proceed with the patient, things that have been trialed that weren't successful, and then what those next steps are. So it's the same concept, but we're moving it over into cultural competency and leadership. So we need those transition documents so that we're documenting the things that we've done, things that were successful, things that weren't successful. How can we go about improving these things? And the only way to do that is to know what has been done through trial and error. I think that for no fault of our own, we've gotten so caught up in the historical record being those people who have seniority. And once they die off, we lose that. We have no one that can attest to what's been done, what wasn't successful, what was successful, oh, we did that, but we didn't do it this way, or, whatever the piece may be. So I think by putting things in black and white, you now lay a good foundation for anyone who comes behind you to be able to actually improve upon the implementation process and really start to get down to, how can we really address these issues and stop making the same mistakes over and over? That's one of the things that we continuously see. It's, get stuck in the same rut or pattern. Mm-hmm. And how do you move past it? Well, if you're documenting what's being done, then hopefully we can avoid continuing to do the same things over and over, because we have documentation that they didn't work, or we have documentation that it did work and there's nothing broken, and we can keep proceeding in that direction. So it just really lays a good solid foundation.
I love that. So is that something like when you're journaling or you're taking these notes, this would be like a Google Doc, or what would be an
Yeah,
example
so
of places
it
you would
really,
keep this?
yeah, it could be a Google Doc, or it could be a form or template, that's developed. It doesn't have to be, very complex, but it could be. It really just depends on the person. I think keeping things simplified is typically easiest. So, being able to electronically modify it would be most beneficial. You don't want something that every time you get ready to do it, you have to start over from scratch, rewriting
Okay.
everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Right.
think, like you said, a Google Doc or some other method of having that transposed electronically would be the best way to carry that over from one group of leaders to another.
I've got another hat for you, Sonya. You need to develop and copyright that form that you can pass out. That becomes the new framework, because when everybody hears, oh, something else, more data that I have to track or more things I have to write down, that can feel overwhelming, or it can feel like too much. It's like one more thing. But like you're saying, if you don't have to start over from scratch each time, and you kind of have like a framework, so maybe that's something you're going to be developing in the future and sharing with us.
Stay tuned. We've got some real good things in the works. A couple of colleagues and myself, all past presidents, we've been talking about actually putting together a podcast, because there's really not a lot out there on leadership and cultural competency within our field. So we're trying to find ways to help attract new volunteers at the state level so that we can be more effective. Everybody gets all up in arms when the Medicaid reimbursement rate isn't changing, when the structure for how we do things, when CFs are not allowed to bill for certain services within our state. But when we don't have the volunteers in place to help us catapult this movement, then we're not going to have the progress that we would really like to have. So I think that what we really need is some good foundational pieces put in place so that we actually know where we're going, how we're going to get there, and what we're going to do. And so that's one of the things that we're going to be looking to do within the next year.
That's awesome. So keyword, you said stay tuned. So it sounds like there's more in the works. So tell me a little bit about, for anybody who's listening then in the field of speech pathology, who is hungry for more information and is excited by what you're sharing. How would they be able to reach out to you or find your resources in the meantime?
So you can go to my website, www.analyzethisllc.com. You can find me on Facebook under the same handle. And then you can also email me, Sonya@analyzethisllc.com. And I will reach out to you with any answers that I may have. And if I don't have the answer, we will work on getting that answer for you.
Oh, wow. I love that. You are such a resource. Thank you so much for just all of this information. And for everybody that's interested in this course, we're going to talk about how we can go back to speechtherapypd.com and we can check out this course. Before we sign off, I do want to share just a few extra tips before we go on how we can really use mindfulness and compassion to strengthen even in just the area of cultural competence. And I heard you talk about mindfulness and being mindful today, Sonya. So just a couple quick bullet points is, one thing you can do is just sort of practice that self-reflection. So maybe just engage in some regular self-reflection exercises and just take a look at what are some of my own biases or assumptions and cultural conditioning that I have, because, we're all so different. If we look at our profiles, right, we're all so very different. So just to take a look at that, because this allows for more self-awareness, and it really helps us to identify areas for personal growth in cultural competence. You can also consider creating this mindset of, I would say, we talk about this in our field all the time, ask questions, ask. So really cultivating this mindset of curiosity and openness towards different cultures, different perspectives and experiences. And as Sonya was saying, you can seek out opportunities to learn and engage from other people from diverse communities and really sort of build that genuine interest in understanding and appreciating cultural differences. And I want to stress the importance of when we're going into, like Sonya said, it's not just when we're working with our clients, but when we are collaborating with others as well. I want to stress the importance of active listening, right? So this involves fully focusing on and understanding the perspectives and experiences of others, but doing so without judgment, right? And that can be really hard to do, or without interruption. So not talking over others, but really, clearing that space and inviting that safe space for others to share with you. And what this does is now you've got a safe and inclusive space for open dialogue, which we know is so very important, but it also creates deeper connections, those deeper relationships that we have with others, deeper connections across cultural boundaries. And we know that's so very important. And that is the work that we really need to amp up and we need to do in our field, as we've mentioned. So I'm very excited for all of you. Thank you, Sonya, so much for being here. Thank you for your wisdom. I want to invite everybody, if you want to take a deeper dive into this topic and further your education, head over to speechtherapypd.com and check out Cultural Competency. And this is with presenter Sonya Floyd, who we have with us here today. Thank you, Sonya. We are so much. Absolutely. We are so grateful for you, and good luck to your daughter in kindergarten. I know it's always hard to send them off, but this is the beginning of a very beautiful journey for her also. So thank you. For everybody who is listening for other topics, just so you know, when you subscribe to speechtherapypd.com, you can also find many other courses. I believe we're up to 900 plus courses that are available for you on demand, and you're going to earn those ASHA CEUs. If you're not yet a member, you can also access a free course. You can give it a trial and see if it aligns with your needs. If you found this video helpful with Sonya and I, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to comment below, we do want to hear from you. Go ahead and ask questions, give us comments. Also below this episode, you're going to find links where you can just click and go to connect with Sonya in those resource areas that she was sharing with you so that you can connect with her. Thank you so much for joining us today. We look forward to bringing you more valuable content in future episodes. Remember to stay mindful, compassionate, and dedicated to the journey of cultural competence within our profession. Happy summer.